I already gave a brief idea about India and the opportunity. But right now in this panel discussion, we will like to look more at the theme which has been given to us by the organizers. That is driving and leveraging sustainable food value chains between India and UAE. And I'm so happy that we have, as a panelist and as a part of this whole thing, Mr. Saleh Loha, Chairman of UAE Food and Beverage Group. So thank you, we are being. In fact, when they told me you'll be there, I was very happy because we will get a chance to hear from you what we can do together. Because I think India has a lot to offer in this. And we have two young people from us, from my team. One is Athang Jain, who is Director Jain Fresh Foods Limited, and Sri Rahul Dhawan, who is Business Manager in ITC. And both of them are going to talk about the new age technologies which we have in India and how we can leverage these technologies for this whole idea of sustainable food. I would not take too much time because I would like more time to be had for the panelists and also for question and answers. And I know we are already going late. But let me tell you, as I said earlier, I only talked on the consumer side. What we need for choices of sustainable food is customers should start deciding, yes, I want to give a premium for sustainable food and I want to choose sustainable food. It is important. But secondly, to get that food going from the agriculture to the whole value chain is also very important. And as you know, in India, we are now, earlier when I was small, we used to be called snake charmers, but now we are called the techies. That is the new name of India. And we have technologies for everything. In COVID, we created apps and we created whatnot and we showed what we can do. I am very proud to say that India has technologies in the field of sustainability starting from agriculture. There are so many startups which are doing this. AI is being used in a major way. Robotics are being used. Drones are being used. There are technologies which can allow less usage of water, because our Prime Minister always believes this, that more crop per drop. So how do we leverage more of this technology? We have this in the agriculture sector. We are using a lot of organic pesticides, insecticides. We are using chemical-free. There is a state in Sikkim, in northeast. Total state, whole area has almost been declared as organic. Look at the opportunity of sourcing from there. Then we come to the value chain. Once again, the government has put a lot of money in various schemes on the infrastructure to ensure that the crops reaches the food process unit, and from the food process unit, it reaches the consumer. In this also, there are various new technologies being adapted, new apps being adapted, cold chains coming into place. We are in India, we are using a lot of alternate energies like solar, wind. Then coming to the food processing. In the company I come from, we are adopting newer methods to ensure that we have more nutritious and sustainable food. When I say sustainable doesn't mean only the food, but even the packaging. How can we work on packaging to avoid plastic? I'm not going to say no plastic, that's why I use the word avoid plastic. I do believe that plastic is a must sometimes, but we can avoid plastic, we can reduce plastic, we can ensure that the plastic we use is recyclable in all forms, and we can also ensure that we work with the governments in ensuring that this recycling actually happens on the ground. And that's what industry has to do, which we are doing. Industry has come forward and are working with the government in this. Similarly, we are working on other substitutes of plastic, including paper, including glass, even a small thing which I tell a lot of people, that even if you reduce the size of the closure, when I was small, the closures were so small, now the closures are so big, but I do believe there is no need of a big closure, it only adds to the plastic. So we can just reduce the size of the closure, and I think we are happy as manufacturers, we will save some money, and there will be less plastic. So there are small things which can be done, but I think industry is doing it. Now coming to what can happen is the India-UAE partnership, the way I see it in SEPA is that because India has a big manufacturing base, and this is as the marketing arm, how we can ensure that these sustainable technologies which India has go forward and really sort of what I call, we can take them globally. More on this I would like to talk after I have had the panelists give at least a 2-minute remark. then we will have a few questions, and then I will like to more elaborate on the opportunity I just thought. But I think let me get the panelists in so that we have a discussion. So let us start with Mr. Saleh. We have 2 minutes. We can start with you. What you think in this topic, and then we can go ahead.
First of all, really thank you very much for being with us today. I am really proud to have our Indian delegates coming and participating with us in the Future Food Forum, which is an example of what we're looking for in this forum, is really having these ecosystems getting bigger and bigger by having such people with us in these ecosystems. It's only by working together we will be able to excel. And our relationship, driven by the government and in the old days, it's been for decades, our relationship with India, it's been really a role model relationship for others to follow. There is a lot where we can really learn from each other. I do believe that the role of the government is to put the infrastructure, the regulations, but it is our responsibilities as a private sector to drive and excel, to benefit from each other. There is a lot to be learned from India in terms of innovations, in terms of logistics, in terms of size. And I'm sure that there is a lot of areas where we can cooperate. And I do believe that having these kind of dialogue, having these kind of discussions will be an opportunity for us to grow. I was just saying to one of my colleagues, challenges will continue to happen. We've faced COVID. We've gone through the war between Ukraine and Russia. And God knows what will become as a challenge tomorrow. Our job is to work together to find solution for whatever issues and challenges we could face in the future. Having these ecosystems, having this kind of gathering, having this kind of forum is an opportunity for us to be more proactive, can read trends faster, and make collective decisions for better objectives and better future for the sector. And this is just the start. I'm a strong believer that this ecosystem, inshallah, with the help of our partner and stakeholder, will continue to grow. Another example is IFBA, the International Food Processing Association, which is I am leading now. So we are working into getting these organizations, which consist of more than 57 Muslim countries, to participate in this, from Central Asia, Africa, Middle East, across the globe. So imagine if we can get all these stakeholders, player, members, participate in our discussions. So imagine what benefit we can gain. How this trade business can happen between all these countries. How knowledge can move from one area to another areas. For all this are an opportunity for us to leverage. So this is what we are looking for. So we're really proud having you with us in this forum this year.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm going to focus on the topic right now of this panel, which is sustainable food value chains. And I wanted to give one specific example on how we as a company have really contributed to that and how it is having a tangible impact on the trade between India and UAE. And that example is of the fresh banana crop. So we as a company, Gen Irrigation, we make banana plantlets, which we give to farmers in India. And starting from the micro irrigation that we provide to the farmers and give them the agronomic knowledge to really how to take care of the fruit from start to finish so that it looks perfect and it's okay for the export market. As you know, India is the largest manufacturer of fresh banana in the world. But what is also true is it's the largest consumer of fresh banana in the world. So there's very little that used to get exported out of India. But today, the market just from India to UAE is almost $200 million worth of fresh banana that's being exported. And that has been increasing double-digit growth over the last few years. And to understand what went behind these numbers is that you need to really get to the farmers on the field level, explain to them the sustainability and the practices that are required to ensure that the fruit reaches export markets in a proper condition. And then not only is the fresh fruit coming here, whatever fruit which is not okay for the export market can then be processed and made into banana pulp is what we are doing, and then supplied to other beverage manufacturers, which they can use eventually into making fruit juices, etc. So the idea is to complete the full value chain and the circle and create value everywhere, from the farmer to the manufacturer to the people, consumers who are eventually having the fruit or beverage at the end. So to create shared value and complete the chain, there's a lot of work that goes on directly from the field level all the way till the market. And I believe like this is just one example of banana. There's also examples of multiple other fruits and vegetables that India grows and is one of the largest in the world in many of these. And such supply chains need to be created over time that can help really foster increasing trade between the two countries. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon and thank you for having us here. At ITC, what we believe is we've been a sustainable organization for the past 15 years. We are water positive, carbon positive, and waste reduction positive as well for the last 20 odd years. In fact, we strongly resonate with the topic of discussion today, and I think the previous panel, there was a question from the crowd, on the audience rather, in terms of what initiatives are we doing at the field level and how does the local produce get benefited. So considering the challenges that the current agricultural ecosystem faces, at ITC we have developed a phygital platform which involves certain physical elements and backed up by technology which is completely digitalized. So when I talk about the physical elements in place, we are currently working with small farmers who are marginalized, and we're bringing them together to make a larger consortium wherein they benefit from the scale and scope of it. Second, we have subject matter experts who are deployed on the field who give real-time inputs to the farming community, which helps in bringing up further improvements in their practices. And third, we have demonstration plots which are deployed, which kind of propagate the good agricultural practices which are not only prevalent in the other parts of the country, but also globally. On the digital side, it's a platform which provides advanced agriculture and rural services. So that's the digital aspect of it, which has a multi-crop calendar customized to a specific farming community or a cluster, which gives inputs which are specific to his agroclimatic conditions. So second feature that the platform offers is in terms of input services. So there are a lot of co-partners who are partnered with us and come on board to the platform offering services which are not only on mechanization, but also on farming inputs and services. Third, we have the platform which also offers the output from these farms to the end markets. Now, what is traditionally happening is there are a lot of intermediaries which are coming in way. So by doing this, we're directly connecting the farmer to the final end consumer, which is not only giving him a true value, but also delivering value. And fourth, everything is traceable and digitalized. Now, when we talk about specific digital inputs, these are backed by artificial intelligence and machine learning models. So there are different cropping patterns which we as an organization are studying, considering we are present across 11 provinces, pan-India. So each province has a unique offering which caters to a specific crop value chain. So by doing this in terms of the digital enablement, we're able to get a better output on the field. And few examples which I would like to cite here. We were able to bring in a zero-till technology and surface seeding, especially for our wheat produce, which helped in reducing the greenhouse gases by almost by 13%. We were able to do a pilot by using drone technology for doing spraying at a specific implementation level, which reduced water consumption by almost 90%. And we have also worked on developing certain new varieties which have improved the overall productivity and yield. Now, moving one step ahead, we have also engaged with our farming community to work on certain value-added products, which not only give them an opportunity to partake into newer streams of products, but also improve the overall quality, which is then exported to the market. So we have organic mango orchards, we have orchards which are Rainforest Alliance certified and Fairtrade certified. We have coffee plantations which are Fairtrade certified and RFA certified. And we have specific wheat offerings which meet the end attribute specific requirement. And also slowly getting into expanding our IPM chili base. So as an organization, we strongly feel that these initiatives will not only help in going in the right direction, but also set a path for the years to come.
What we can do is, I have a few questions, but I'll take them later. Maybe if the audience has not asked any questions. So maybe if the audience has a few questions, we can start with those first. We will just take one or two and then one. Okay, one. Let one come at least. Any question? Okay, then I have two questions which I'd like to ask, and one to you, and one to you, and one to all of you, one each. Let us not two. Mike, what you are doing, how are the farmers taking it? Because what are the challenges you are facing from the farmers' end? And we are talking of people who are not so educated, people more age. So please, can you elaborate and what is happening?
I'll just take the same.
Because they only do something which is profitable with them.
Exactly.
So how do you make it look profitable with them?
Exactly. So as you know, farmers have been doing certain practices age-old for hundreds of years. And we found it very, very difficult to convince them to change using modern technology, especially where it requires investment from their side. Because for them, there are a lot of other risks that come. And financial input, if they need to put in, they really need to see the rewards. But what has really helped is demonstration. And once they see that the improvement in productivity is there, and the saving in labor cost and saving in water is there, they are looking at other farmers who are adopting this technology, and then they're more happy to take it over. But yes, of course, it takes a long time to convince them to do it. There's also a lot of help that is coming from the government of India as well on subsidies for micro irrigation or for export of fresh produce. So that also really helps in getting the farmer onboarded. Otherwise, the initial capital cost itself is too high for a small farmer, which is typically 2 acre is the average land holding in India, is too small for a large scale application of technology otherwise. But if you prove to them or demonstrate to them that it's possible to get returns, they are more than happy to convert and start using new technologies.
You have a very good ITC as a concept of e-Chopal, and that is more, let us say, India-oriented. Now, what do you see, how can you take this into this new India-UAE partnership, and how we can use e-Chopal as a sort of base for the reverse also? Like what you are doing is from the villages, you are getting to cities. I'm saying from cities to UAE. Just think what I'm trying to say. How can we link the two?
See, currently our entire agri ecosystem, which we are pivoting our model, initially was an e-Chopal model. Now we are moving more towards an ITC Mars model, which is a meta market for advanced agriculture and rural systems. So here by our initiatives will be overall upping the quality table of the agricultural ecosystem for specific crops. So we are focusing on 3 main clusters. One is a fruit cluster, one is a food safe cluster, and one is a vegetable cluster. So which will be specific to each zone, and it will cater to certain requirements which would help enhance the boost the trade with UAE partners per se. So if you look at in the south, we have organic plantations of coffee, we have mango, etc. In the west, we are investing into the entire fruit basket of banana, pomegranate, and citrus. And in the north, we're looking at various other slew of vegetables. So by catering to this requirement, we will digitally further enable and strengthen the farmer not only to have his solid back-end stable, which is his input material, but also get access to markets directly. So by doing this, we believe that there will be a definite value addition which will happen, and in turn give a better output which will be more amenable for export and into boost trade with the UAE per se.
And this is my question to you generally, as I'm also organizer of many events. In any event, there is a few takeaways in what we can do. As I said, CIA today represents almost 70% GDP of Indian private industry. And we are part of almost in all states, all regions. I definitely believe this India-UAE partnership, what you talk about, can be taken to a much further. So So what in your mind should we, two groups, your group and CI, can be doing with our respective governments, in India more central and state, to take this further, and can be the whole concept of the sustainable agriculture, well-being, to anything else, like when you talk about food security, to think of, yes, for example, I believe you have something like a sugar tax, which is actually not a sugar tax, it's a beverage tax because it's on stevia also, but how can we have the reverse of it, that at least healthy food is cheaper? So the best way to make healthy food, if you ask me, propagate more, is not to tax the things which are in your mind not healthy, but to actually ensure that the products which are healthy are cheaper. So how do we make it cheaper? By ensuring subsidies. Now there are some things on this government is already working. For example, millets. So how can we work together on these type of issues?
See, as I said, by identifying one or two projects, and I think I'm sure that there is a lot of discussions. And one of the main announcements we are doing in this forum is really launching our UAE food platform, which I think would be the infrastructure for all the stakeholders, members, government, partner, to be part of these platforms. And from there, in terms of data, in terms of leveraging the relationship between all the stakeholders, that will give us an opportunity to go and make the right decisions, reduce waste, look for opportunity to grow trade-wise, raw materials, end product, retailing. So the opportunity is huge. But as I said, before we run, let us identify one or two projects and work. So what I'll be looking for through this forum, where we together identify one or two projects and we start working in it from today till the next forum of next year, inshallah, to see the result.
Thank you very much. And I think all good things have to end. And thank you once again for giving us the opportunity and hearing us. Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.